All right, guys, so let's go ahead and we're just going to review the different fraction concepts that we've covered just to get you all prepared for your 6 weeks test. That's going to be on Tuesday. So let's read this first problem together. It says, Shelly has 4 different lengths of hair clips. She wants to wear a clip with a length equivalent to 14/16 of an inch. Which length clip should Shelly choose? Okay, so if you notice, all of these answer choices all have numerators and denominators smaller than 14/16, right? So are we going to be generating an equivalent fraction, or are we going to be simplifying our fraction? What do you think? We're going to be simplifying our fraction. So go ahead and start by dividing your paper into 6 sections just like we did before. So you're going to go straight down the middle, and then you're going to go divide in that way and divide in that way. So you have 6 equal boxes. Okay? Give you a second to do that. After you divided them into your boxes, you can go ahead and write the title. So we're gonna practice simplifying. So that's why I wrote simplify right there. Okay. So we've got 14/16, correct? Well, if we're going to simplify it, what do we need to do? We need to find the what? What do we need to find? We need to find the GCF. What does that stand for? Greatest common factor. So how do I do that? I need to start by factoring both of the numbers, right? The numerator and the denominator. Okay. Okay, so I need to factor 14 and I need to factor 16. Okay? So is there 1 times something I can do to get 14? 1 times 14. Is there 2 times something I can do to get to 14? 2 times what? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 7. Is there 3 times anything I can get to 14? Let's count by 3s and check. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Nope, didn't get to 14. What about 4 times anything? Well, let's count by 4s. 4, 8, 12, 16. Nope, again, not that one. 5 times anything? Well, this last digit isn't a 5 or a 0, so I can't do 5 times anything. What about 6 times something? Let's count by 6s. 6, 12, 18, oh, no, not anything. So those are only factors for 14. What about 16? Can I do 1 times something? 1 times 16. What about 2 times something? 2 times what equals 16? 2 times 8. What about 3 times something to get to 16? Let's count by 3s. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Oh, nope, didn't get to 16. All right, what about 4 times something? Let's count by 4s. 4, 8, 12, 16. 4 times 4. Okay, so now that I've found my factors, I'm going to go ahead and list them, right? I'm going to list 14's factors, 1, 2, 7, 14. And I'm going to list 16's factors, 1, 2, 4, I already have 4, 8, 16. You don't have to list 4 twice. Okay, so what is the greatest factor that they both have? 2. So my GCF is 2. Okay? So what am I going to do now? I need to divide my original fraction by my GCF on the top and the bottom. 2 over 2. Well, what's 14 divided by 2? 7. What's 16 divided by 2? 8. So our answer is 7/8. 7/8 is the simplest form of 14/16. But 14/16 and 7/8 are equivalent, which is what this asked me. Oops, not that page. Which is what this asked me, right? It asked me to find a clip with a length equivalent to 14/16. So the answer is H, 7/8. Okay? Let's go ahead and do this one down here. Read this out loud with me. Mrs. Ewart told her class that 1/3 of the students in her classroom scored 100 on the math test. There are 24 students in the class. Lisa knew that she could multiply both the numerator and the denominator of the fraction by the same number to find a fraction equivalent to 1/3. Guess what? I already told you what to do in this problem. Isn't that nice? Which number should Lisa use to find the equivalent fraction? Okay, so let's over here write equivalent. Well, I kind of, had to space it out, but whatever. So equivalent fractions. So if I have 1/3 and I want to make it some number of 24ths, well, I know that they told me, Lisa knew that she could multiply both the numerator and the denominator of the fraction by the same number, right? So a fraction equal to 1. Well, what am I going to multiply by? 3 times what equals 24? Excuse me. 3 times what equals 24? Let's count by 3s. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. How many times is that? 8. So what do I know that this has to be? And what did the problem tell me it has to be? An 8. All right, 1 times 8 is 8. So what number did she need to multiply by? 8. So the answer would be H. Okay. Moving right along. All right, okay. All right, let's look at this one right here. We don't need our notebook paper for this one. Actually, yeah, we don't need our notebook paper for this one. Okay, so I just want you to watch with me. All right, so it says, which number line best represents 6/8 plus 3/8? Actually, we can go ahead and do this on our math journal in 1 second. But I want to draw your attention to one key thing that's going to help you eliminate, couple of the answer choices. So this says 6/8 plus 3/8, doesn't it? Well, on a number line, am I going to hop twice or am I going to hop forward and hop back? If I'm adding the fractions, what am I going to do? Hop forward, then hop back, or hop twice? What am I going to do? I'm going to hop twice. So I can go ahead and eliminate B and D because they both hop forward and then hop back. So let's go ahead and draw our number lines. So let's write number lines. And you say, no, Miss Hargrave, that's not hashtag lines. It's number lines. That's what that symbol means, okay? So if I'm going to draw a number line, 0, let's make this 1 and then 2. Well, I'm dealing with 8s here, so I need to divide each part into 8s, from 0 to 1 and then from 1 to 2. So from 0 to 1, I'm going to split it in half, and then half again, and then half again. And the same thing over here, split it in half, half again, and then half again. Okay, so 6/8 plus 3/8. There's 2 ways we can do it. We can either do 6/8 first or 3/8 first. Let's do 6/8 first. So I'm going to start here, and I need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hop to 6/8 first, right? And then I need to hop 3 more 8ths. Well, let's hop 1, 2, 3 to right here. So that's going to put me at 1 and 1/8, right? Well, let's look right here. Which one gets me to 1 and 1/8? Is it A or is it C? Well, this one hops 1, 2, 3/8, and then it hops 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. That's not what our problem says. Our problem says 6/8 and 3/8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6/8. 1, 2, 3/8. So the answer would be C. Okay? Alrighty, let's come down here. Okay, so it says Chloe painted, read it out loud with me. Chloe painted her bedroom with paint she found in the garage. She found 3 5/8 gallons. She used 2 2/8 gallons. Which equation can be used to find out how much paint was left after Chloe finished painting? So what are some important words that you see in here that I need to be aware of? What do you see? What do you see? I see used. That's pretty important, because that means that she had some and then she used part of it, right? So it wants to say, it says also which equation can be used to find out how much paint was left after Chloe finished painting. So what do you think we're going to be doing after you see used and left? What do you think we're going to be doing? Are we adding or are we subtracting? Subtracting. If you said subtracting, give yourself a pat on the back. Okay, so I can eliminate C and D already. I'm all about eliminating the answers that we don't need. My brain doesn't like to look at more than it needs to. Okay, so let's come over here. So let's write, so we've got 3 and 5/8 is what we have, 3 and 5/8, and then we have minus 2 and 2/8. Okay, what's the first step whenever I am adding and subtracting mixed numbers? What is my first step that I need to do? What do I need to do? I need to change these mixed numbers into improper fractions, right? So I'm actually going to use a different color here. So I need to multiply the whole number times the denominator. What's 3 times 8? 24. And then I need to add the numerator. What's 24 plus 5? I'm writing kind of small here. Pay attention. 24 plus 5 equals 29. What do I need to remember here? It's 29/8. Super duper important you remember that. All right, down here, what's 2 times 8? Remember, whole number times denominator. 16, and then I need to add my numerator, which is 2, which equals 18. And what's my denominator? 8. So now I've got 29/8 minus 18/8. And I'll give you a second to figure out what 29 minus 18 is. What is 29 minus 18? Okay, so what did you come up with? Did you come up with 11? Because that's what it is. 11 what? 11, what is a rookie going to say? A rookie's going to say 8 minus 8 is 0. We're not rookies up in here. We are pros, and we know that the denominator always stays the same. So now I've got this, but if I look over here, all of these answers are in mixed number form, and my answer is in an improper fraction form. Uh-oh. What am I going to do with this? Well, I'm going to have to change it back to a mixed number by dividing it. 11 divided by 8. How many groups of 8 can I get out of 1? All right, I need to make you aware of something because I don't want you to make this mistake that I'm seeing. So it's not how many groups of 1 can I get out of 8, it's how many groups of 8 can I get out of 1. Always how many groups of the divisor can I get out of this, right? So I can fit 0 groups of 8 out of that. So then 8 times 0 is 0. 1 minus 0 is 1. Bring down your 1. Make this into a house divided by same divisor, 8. How many groups of 8 can I get out of 11? Just 1. 8 times 1 is 8. What's 11 minus 8? 3. Okay, guess what? All of your answers to your mixed number are right here. So you've got your answer, you've got your remainder, you've got your divisor. All of those are going to play a part in the answer. So we've got 3 and 5/8 minus 2 and 2/8 equals, well, let's see. What do you think is going to be my whole number out of these? It's going to be the one that is my answer. How many whole groups of 8 can I get out of 11? Well, I can get 1 whole group of 8 out of 11. Okay, so that's going to be my whole number. And then this is my remainder. This is my part that is left over. So this is going to be my part of my fraction, the numerator. 3. And then if you didn't know which one was the numerator and which one was the denominator, you know that the denominator will always be the same. So by process of elimination, this would have to be the numerator because that's the denominator. Okay? So my answer is 1 3/8. You see that answer choice down here? Yes, it is A. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and move on. Oopsie daisy. Here it is. Okay. So let's check out this one. Read this out loud with me. It says, Jackson wants to build a tree fort. At the lumberyard, he looks at 1 1/4 inch thick plywood and 3/8 inch thick plywood. Draw a picture to represent the thickness of the 2 pieces of plywood. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw our model. And I know I told you not to draw a model to compare fractions, but when it asks you for it, then you do it. So this one is divided into 4 pieces. Okay, and we have 1 shaded. This one is divided up into 8 pieces, so I'm going to line those, and then I'm going to divide each one of those into half. And this is 3/8. Well, how many eighths is equal to 1/4? 2, so which one's going to be bigger? The 3/8, right? So it says if Jackson wants the tree fort to be sturdy, which thickness should he buy? Well, what do you think? Let's go ahead and do butterfly method for this. So we've got 3/8 and 1/4. Let's butterfly it. Draw your wings, opposite numerator and denominator. Draw your antennas. Draw the bottom of the body. Okay, so what's 8 times 1? 8. What's 4 times 3? 12. What's 8 times 4? 32. Okay, so now let's make our equivalent fractions. I'm actually going to do these in orange. Okay, so what is this equivalent fraction going to be? 8/32. And then what's this one over here going to be? 12/32. Okay, well, what's one bigger? 12/32, which means that 3/8 is bigger than 1/4. Okay? So if he wants his tree for it to be sturdy, is he going to want thicker wood or thinner wood? Thicker. So which one's thicker? The 1/4 inch thick or the 3/8 inch thick? Well, the 3/8 inch thick is thicker, so that's going to be the one that's going to make the sturdier tree fort. So there's our number sentence is 3/8 is greater than 1/4. Okay? All right, so let's do one more. So Amy and Lynn compared, read this out loud with me. Amy and Lynn compared recipes for chocolate chip cookies. Amy's recipe called for 5/8 cup of sugar, while Lynn's recipe called for 2/3 cup of sugar. Which number sentence is true about the amount of sugar used in the recipe? Okay, so it's obviously wanting us to compare. I see a lot of comparison symbols down here. Less than, greater than, equal to. Okay? All right, so I need to compare these two. So let's do the butterfly method. So we've got 5/8, 2/3. Let's make our wings. Opposite numerator and denominator. Make your antennas. Make the bottom of your body. Okay, so work on something. Okay, so we need to multiply 8 times 2. Well, what's 8 times 2? 16. Sorry, I can't see that. 16. What's 3 times 5? 15. And what's 8 times 3? 24. All right, so let's make our equivalent fractions. What is it? What fraction is equivalent to 2/3? 16/24. What fraction is equivalent to 5/8? 15/24. Well, which one's bigger, 15/24 or 16/24? 16/24, which means that 2/3 is greater than 5/8, right? So that means, well, who had 2/3, Amy or Lynn? Lynn did. So Lynn's going to have the bigger recipe, which means that the answer is F. Okay? All right, my friends. Well, that should be a good little review for you. I encourage you to go back and watch other videos that we've done so that you can review yourself and remember the steps to do all the different things, because I know we learned a lot about fractions, and sometimes it kind of gets confusing thinking about all the different things. Okay? All right, guys. Have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow.